Today on the podcast, we have Andrea Walker. She is a mom of 2 toddlers and 1 fur baby, a bridal makeup artist for over 8 years, a salon and studio owner who is pursuing her unicorn dream at full force. And I am so excited for you to learn about her story, her journey, and all the things today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Welcome. So excited.
So excited. I'm excited to catch up with you. Like, I feel like this is what we're doing. So
I know. Andrea and I went to the same college together. She's done my makeup so many times. Actually, the cover art for this podcast, she did my makeup in that photo, and I absolutely love those photos still to this day. So she is a makeup wizard. And I definitely you have created such a successful business, as we said, for over 8 years. You've been in the makeup industry and you have other business ventures that you've pursued recently. So obviously it's a lot to unpack, but if you could just kind of start from the beginning, tell our audience like where you started and kind of just give us a little bit about the journey of the beginning to now.
Okay. It is a lot to unpack. Okay, so I'll start with what's funny is like growing up, I was such a tomboy, like could not get me out of jeans. Like I would play football at recess. Like I just had zero interest in being like girly at all. And then something like flipped. I don't know if you were like this, but like anytime my mom would go to CVS, I'd go with her. Like it was about middle school, so like 12. I had to like buy every like lip gloss.
Lip gloss was a thing, man.
Hated bringing me because it would be like $50 later. You know, we got all these different eyeshadows and things in the cart, and I'm like, please. But I think at that point she was so happy that I was like, she didn't care. She was just like, okay, that's another day. So I guess it kind of started like my fascination with makeup started then. I had always been very artistic, like overly good at drawing and things like that throughout childhood. But it wasn't until I would say like 15 when people would start, that's kind of when they start asking like, what do you want to do in your life? Like, what are you going to do in your career? And it's like, I'm 15. I don't really know. Like I haven't experienced anything. But the thing that I always would say even then was like, I don't know what I want to do for my full-time job, but I know that I would love to do makeup. Like I want to do wedding makeup. Like even then I was saying that.
Okay.
And that was not even really a thing.
No,
so I don't know like where it came from. Yeah, because I'm 31 now. So 16 years ago, like we didn't get our makeup done for homecoming or prom. Like you got your hair done. But I don't ever recall anyone being like, oh, I went here and got my makeup done at the salon. Like that, it never happened. And so as, I don't know, like as the years went on and obviously went to college, I even like a year into college, I was like ready to tap out. I wanted to go to cos school and, you know, my parents were very insistent on getting a college degree. So I stuck with it, which I'm glad because I met you, but like
we had fun. We got a degree in, you know, a lot of other things, but what was your degree even in? I actually wanted to ask you. I don't even know.
So it was in public health education.
Oh, okay.
I ended up going into, and like there was a hot second there where I really wanted to work in like a nursing home or like in an elderly community and be like the activity coordinator. I love old people. Like, I don't know. Even now, like moms and grandmas are still my favorite to do. Like, I'm like, oh, it's the bride's day, but like, I like your mom over here.
Right.
So I don't know. Like at the time when I graduated in 2012, it was like, there really wasn't much work. Like, I don't know if you remember that, but it was like super hard to get a job getting out of college. And then I kind of fell into this HR and accounts receivable role at my dad's business. So the woman that was working there was having her first baby, and she was not going to return after she had her baby. So I was like, okay, like this is a great starting point, just I have a job, I can keep looking for another job, like it's not that big of a deal. So it was never like the long-term goal by any means to stay there. And my dad knew that, which was great. So it wasn't like hard feelings, when the time came to depart. But I don't know, like even in college, I remember specifically, like, I don't know if you remember Jenna. I don't know if you ever met Jenna Gorman. Her and obviously Jackie, like there'd be so many times where like, they'd be like, can you do my makeup to go out? I just want it to look just like yours. But like, that was like the first stepping stone into doing somebody else's makeup. And I remember it was so funny because it always looked just like my makeup. Like I didn't have a variety of like doing things on other people for their face shape and their eye shape and their skin tone and their texture, because I didn't have like a giant kit. I didn't have the knowledge. So it kind of started there. And then it was 2013, Charlene Ferrante, La Faccia Bella, had reached out to me and she was like, I'm not teaching anymore. Like this sucks. I've always done makeup. I want to pursue it full time. So I'm just diving in and doing it. She's like, but what I do need is someone to rely on for like large bridal parties. And so I was like her right hand. Like whenever she had a large party, she would bring me along with her to do some bridesmaids. And she obviously like blew up like instantly.
Yeah, she did.
I mean, one, she's freaking amazing, but two, being in the Chaldean community, like if you're good at what you do, like they're getting married on Tuesdays. Like there's no, like the market is endless for that. So she got so busy, like Mike ended up finishing the basement in her parents' house and she was just like booked day in and day out, like every single day. So she didn't even need me because she wasn't really going on location. And I was kind of like, ooh, like I still want to do this, like if I could do a couple jobs, every other weekend or something and still work my full-time job, like I have the best of both worlds. Like I have benefits and security over here, but I'm exploring this opportunity here. And I don't know, like by 2015, it became more serious. And I was like, okay, like this feels like I need to take the next step. Like if I'm going to take this seriously, if this is like actually what I want to do full time, I need to do more. I need to make sure I'm doing this right. I kind of want like a certificate of just like, I know what I'm doing. And so it was May of 2015. I flew to Dallas and took a pro course with Amy Clark. I've been following her for years, and there's a Pinterest picture of like the steps of how to contour. I can almost guarantee you have seen it. Like it is
Probably.
like shared makeup pictures out there. She's incredible. She has like, my style is very much like what she does. Like it's very like clean skin, fresh, bridal. That's her thing. Like she's incredible. She's kind of like dabbled in more like industry and celebrity makeup since then, but it was the best thing I could have done. Like there were 6 people in this little class. It was like a 12-hour day.
It was a really intimate way to learn.
Yeah. And it was like exactly what I needed. Like I was the only one, I think, from out of state. The other ones were all from Texas. And it was incredible. Like I learned a lot of tips and tricks, but more than anything, what I gained from it was just the confidence that I'm doing it right. Like, oh, there's this select makeup artist and I'm 45 minutes per person and I'm doing the right colors. I'm doing the right skin tone. I have the necessities and the good stuff for a good kit. Now it's just bringing this home and really like honing in on my brand. And after I left there, it was like game time. Like I got on the knot, I made a website. I think I changed my Instagram handle at the time it was like something fun, like
Right.
nickname growing up was like Dreba. And it was
Yes,
like
yes. I
Dreba. It
remember
was
that.
like, okay, no, like we're gonna up this. So like what better way to represent your brand than with your own name? And so I just did Andrea Walker Makeup Artistry. And I kept it like super simple, kept it clean. And it kind of took off from there. Like I would say 2015, I had 7 weddings. The next year, it doubled to 14. The next year, it doubled to like 30. And I mean, if you think about it, Michigan doesn't really have winter weddings. So
No.
my wedding season is like mid-April to maybe the end of November. So to have 30 weddings, that's pretty much every weekend. Like it
Yeah,
is,
that's a lot.
I don't have a life on the weekends. So I was still working full time. Like I was still working 40 hours a week and doing like 25 to 30 weddings a year was like 2 full-time jobs. Like I had no life, but it was what I needed to do to be able to finally separate and leave my full-time job to pursue this 100%. So that is like how I got to the point that I was at.
Yeah, I think it shows that, well, number one, that you were building this while also working full time, which I think a lot of people don't, if they were to find you today, they wouldn't know that part.
Oh,
They would think, oh, she's just been doing makeup for 8 years and she did it full time this whole time. And she's been booked solid for years and since the beginning. And it's like, no, you were doing this part time in the cracks of time that you had. You were making that like sacrifice of time to make it work because obviously, like you said, you were and you still are working on the weekends, and that's usually like people's time to like chill and take vacations and relax if they're working full time. But you really, had a passion for this and wanted to pursue it. And I think also what was really inspiring was the fact that you got on a plane, you went to Texas, which isn't close to Michigan by any means. Like that's a big leap
yeah.
to invest in your business, to learn and to go out there. And you weren't full time yet. So that's another thing. Like you don't have to wait until you're full time to do these things. You don't really get to be full time unless
Yeah.
you do these things when you're part time. So I really love how you kind of broke that down for us and also showed the first year was only 7, then it doubled again. And obviously that's how it goes. You build on the previous year and slowly but surely it becomes something that you can do full time. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it was definitely a combination of things too. Like it would be bridesmaids from a wedding party that I had done that were now getting married. So it was like kind of a word of mouth thing, or I had already done their makeup. And then with the knot, like it's so nice to have real life people, like images up, reviews up. So they go on there, they see it. I offer them to look at my Facebook page and my Instagram, which has more like up to date and personalized stuff.
Right.
So they have that option to then look at that and be like, okay, this looks like somebody I want to book with, whether they know me or have experienced my makeup firsthand. So that brought in new people, and then it just like just blew up. Like it just, I don't want to say spiraled, but it like spiraled up.
Yeah, it was like that snowball effect.
Yes.
Like just
Yeah.
picking up steam, as it
Yeah.
kept going. And I think
Yeah.
that says a lot too, that you were giving quality work. And that's why the people that were bridesmaids wanted to book you for their weddings and so on and so on. And I'm sure all your brides were also recommending you to people. So that's awesome. And one thing I did want to say too about backtracking again to when you went to that that intimate training, you basically were doing what a lot of people I've learned from personal development myself and whatnot is you were stepping into a makeup artist like full-time position in your mind. Like you were like, I know I can do this, so I'm gonna act like it right now.
Right.
And you didn't wait. So I think that's something that anyone can take from your story.
So when I had been following Amy on Instagram, like just obsessing over her work, I just in my mind, and like the last like year or two have been so into like manifesting things. Like I guess I have really been doing it my whole life without really realizing that that's what I was doing. But I had always said like, oh my God, it'd be so cool to like somehow work with her or like do something. And really classes weren't a thing yet, like pro classes or training classes. So when she had announced that she was doing this class, I lost my mind. Like I remember calling my mom and I was like, I have to do this class. Like I don't care what I have to do. I don't care if I have to work, my other job, 12-hour days in order to get those 2 days off. Like, I don't care what I have to do. Like, I need to do it. Like, this is like, it felt like my calling. Like, that was my step that I needed to take. And to go, like, I traveled alone. I've never been to Texas. Had to go, find an airport. Like, thankfully, Uber was already a thing back then. Had to go to this place by myself. I didn't know anybody there. And it's like already a little bit intimidating because you're going in with a pro makeup artist who has like worked on celebrities and stuff and has been in the industry for so long. So I just really had to push like any anxiety or uncomfortableness. Like I had to step out of that box. Like if you stay in your comfort zone, you're not going anywhere. Like you have to do something different in order to see different things and a result. So that was like my whole thing was like, I could keep doing what I'm doing, but I don't know if it's right. I don't feel very confident. I'm not learning anything new. And why wouldn't I take this opportunity to do this? Like, it just made sense and it paid off big time. So yeah, and here I am. So
yeah. That's amazing. That's definitely a pivotal moment in your life. And I love that you said that you knew it was your calling and you went for it, because I think we all have callings, whatever they are. They're different for every single person, but we a lot of times let fear stop us, or we use that as an excuse to ignore it, but it's always going to come back around. So I think obviously you wouldn't be sitting here today doing what you're doing if you wouldn't have went for it. So I think that's awesome. Now, obviously, we all know that 2020 was the craziest year for everyone, but obviously for anyone in the makeup industry and the bridal industry, especially in Michigan, but all over the world, really, it was shut down. It was canceled. It was gone for a while, for most of the year or all of the year. I don't even know exactly, but how did you handle that? Like what did that look like for you? Because I'm sure it was stressful.
I mean, my life more so like in detail. So I'm going to have to backtrack a few years off of like even before 2020, because 2020 was just an extension of the shit show of my life circumstances. So let me just catch everybody up here. Like 2017, I got pregnant, I got married, I still worked 35 weddings. I had to cancel your wedding, so I wasn't sure if I'd have a baby or not. I felt so bad. And then, let's see, I had my daughter in November of 2017. I got pregnant again in April of 2018. And I had Luke January 1st of 2019. So I closed on, like, I had been talking to the owner of the salon in the building in April. And we were good to go. Like, she was so excited for me and just
This was April 2019, you said?
April 2019.
Oh yeah, after popping out 2 babies and
like,
building your business still.
Yeah. I was like, okay, this is happening. Like, not really expecting it to be this quick, but it is what it is. Like, I'm not going to say no. Like, this place is amazing. It's the perfect fit for me. It's like 3 streets from my house. I can walk here. I do walk here. And downtown's so cute. So it was like, just made sense. So I was good to go, ready to close on the building and the business. And April 29th, my ex now, but went into, what did he have? Like, we thought he had like a kidney stone, and he went into the emergency room on April 29th and came out the next day on April 30th, knowing that he had a mass on his pubic bone. We didn't know what it was. But it certainly wasn't reassuring when one of the nurses was like chit-chatting with us and he asked him like, hey, you know, what's like the best case scenario? And the nurse was like, honestly, like that it's a lymphoma and you'll just be a dude that had cancer one time. So your best case scenario is that this is cancer. Like, thanks for that reassurance, you know?
He was
So,
very blunt.
oh, yeah, I mean, like, I think because we were just so young and so like shell shocked of what was happening. You know, you're going for like a stubborn kidney stone and come out with cancer. It just like wasn't even registering.
Right. That would take anybody aback, you know, they would make it,
Yeah,
what the heck is going on?
exactly. So May 1st, I completely closed, paperwork, done deal. And then May 7th, we found out that he had Ewing sarcoma. So our life went from, at least for me, like, I guess I'll do it from my perspective because this is technically my story, but I went from being postpartum 2 times over. I had a 4-month-old, an 18-month-old, and now a husband that was diagnosed with a rare, technically pediatric cancer. And I just closed on this building and business. So life came at me full throttle very quickly in a short amount of time. So he was like officially diagnosed May 7th and started chemo immediately May 22nd at U of M. So I mean, that was like everything was on hold at that point. Like, thankfully, when I was pregnant with Luke, I had already told myself, like, okay, I'm not going to book anything until at least July because I didn't know how even two babies so close together, like they're exactly 14 months apart. I didn't know how the schedule would look like. Like, I didn't want to overwhelm myself being a new mom and like, can I even handle this? And then sprinkle in this like a whole other wrench, like just absolute shit show. Like, I don't know how else to describe it, like, because that is exactly what it was. So we were instantly thrown into this like survival mode of getting through every single day. Business was put on hold. The salon was put on hold. Like, thankfully, my dad just handled it. Like, he was just like, we're good. I got this. Like, don't even think about it. Don't even worry about it. Don't even stress about it. This is not priority. So it sat there and it sat there. So I had to shut everything down. I shut down my Knot page. I didn't renew my website. Any person that reached out to me on Facebook or Instagram, I had to turn away and send them to other makeup artists, which I would do it again in a heartbeat. Don't get me wrong, but it also like broke my heart because like I had been working so hard to build my name, build my business, build my reputation. I was like just at that peak of like, I just bought this building. I have so many plans and like things I want to do. And then I had to literally like throw it all away and just be like, okay, I guess I'm not working. Like, I can't work anyways. So that was my life, was just mom, caretaker situation, very, very stressful. So when he was in remission the first time, which was in March, technically it was March 2nd, then lockdown happened March 23rd. So
Gosh, you were finally like getting maybe a break here and then
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
For me, it felt like just a continuation of isolation. Like, I was already washing my hands a ton. I was already using hand sanitizer. Like, it was my job. Like, there wasn't that much difference other than going out and now experiencing like other people being like masked up and like really crazy with washing their hands. And so yeah, what happened in those next few months, because salons were all shut down through June 15th, I think they opened up. So I had this window of opportunity because I was like, okay, things are good at home. Like, I don't have to worry every 6 seconds. Like, I can leave the house for a few hours at a time and not freak out, essentially, like that something's going to go down.
Right.
And I was able to paint the salon. I had the floors redone. I had it decorated the way that I wanted it, which in retrospect, like when would I have ever been able to do that if I didn't have this like what was it? Like 2 months
Several
basically
months. Yeah.
of time to do it. Like I'd have to kick out people that were working there in order to do what I needed to be done to make it what it is now. And so I was there like every night painting for like 4 hours. Every single wall was blue. I had to paint every single thing.
I'm sure that took a lot of coats.
Oh my God, you have no idea. Like the one wall took like 4 coats of gray paint and I was
Oh my gosh.
exhausted. Like the ceilings are so high too. The fact that like my dad did not like freak out that I was on a ladder at midnight up there by myself is really funny because like I was just like here we go. But yeah, so I was able to do that. And then once we opened, I have currently 1 full-time renter and 2 part-time. And one of the part-time is the woman that I bought the salon from in the building. So she stayed, she's loving it. She doesn't ever really want to leave, but she's like, it feels like a whole different place. I'm like, it is a little bit.
Like, yeah, you put your own like spin on it.
Oh yeah. It needed to be like just up to date, really. And like the floors look brand new and the floors are like the original hardwood from 1863. So it's
That's
like
really cool.
the building is so cool. I love it. It's such good energy here and I feel so relaxed when I'm here. But yeah, so back to the 2020 thing. I had already been, experiencing pandemic problems prior to the pandemic.
Yeah, you had your own 2020 before 2020.
My own 2020-ish. I had like a pre-2020 before 2020. So I did what I did in 2015. I just started kind of bringing my face back on social media and being like, hey, I'm back. Like, hi, I'm here. I'm ready to work. I know this is crazy, but I'm super flexible because like I was in a very interesting spot. Normally I book 6 months to a year out for weddings. And being that I didn't book anything in 2019, I had the flexibility of taking on the people that were like, we have canceled our wedding 3 times or postponed it 3 times. We're kind of just saying F it and we're doing a backyard wedding. Are you free next Thursday? I am, because I'm not doing anything else. So I had that really, it was so weird. Like I would have a 2-week notice to do a job and I was thrilled, like, cause I was able to actually work. So I didn't care, but
right. You had that's so interesting because even though your circumstances weren't the best and what happened with everything in 2019 could have been the biggest setback ever, but instead, yes, it was maybe a bit of a setback, but what you did in 2020 is you didn't let it hold you back any longer. And it ended up giving you more opportunities. You were able to, like you already mentioned, you were able to redecorate, repaint, do your studio the way you wanted it to without affecting anybody's business that was using the studio. And then again, you were available for all these brides, all these clients who needed somebody with availability. And so you still had the opportunity to work. It just looked different. So you just basically did what a lot of people did that are still going strong now in 2021 is that you pivoted, you figured out, you found the hole in the market or the opportunities that were out there for you and you went for it. So that's
you have to make the best of it. Like the rules were changing daily. It was like, am I allowed to work? Am I not allowed to work? Like, I don't even know. I'm going to work regardless, I guess. I don't know what to do. But one of the things that I did was I went back to like my original strategy. I got back on the knot. I'm actually still working on my website right now, but I feel like I didn't really need it because in 5 years, Instagram has completely changed. Like the algorithms, the way that it works is so more business pro now. Like I get so many inquiries now from just Instagram alone. I actually like it way more than Facebook. And Facebook used to be like my main source of like I got to post on Facebook. I got to show my work on Facebook. Like, this is how I reach people. But I'm at this age group where the people getting married are between 22 and like 28, like my audience, I guess you could call it.
Right.
And they are the Instagram users. They're not on Facebook. So it's been really beneficial and really cool to step back and see how different things are. And that time off really allowed me to be like, what exactly do I want to do? Like, do I only ever want to do bridal? Do I want to add on other things? And I knew the answer was yes. It just, at the time back in September was like too sketchy to like really move forward with anything else. So I started, obviously, like I said, the basics, got back on the knot, just started promoting myself again. And I could seriously, I think I told you this in text, like I could really cry because there were so many times where, like I had gotten an email from the Knot and it was like, hey, you're only a couple reviews away from being nominated for Best of Weddings 2021 or 20, whatever it was, 2020. And I had just made like a super simple post on Facebook, like, hey, by the way, if anyone's interested, like former brides or clients, like if you don't mind just leaving a review, I could be qualified to get this award. I literally just thought a few people would just hit like the 5-star thing and be like, she's great, blah, blah, blah. I had 20 people in like a 24-hour time frame write a paragraph of how great I was, how much they love their makeup, like the nicest things you could possibly say about somebody. And I cried that day. Like I could cry right now. Just the like the loyalty, the dedication of like former people that know me, and just being in my corner. Like I did not realize that I even had that sort of impact on that many people enough to years later come on there and be like, oh my God, this was the best makeup. She made my wedding day this so great, blah, blah, blah. Like I was blown away. And it really just brought so much like confidence again, like back into my life of like, this is my calling. This is my purpose. I have to keep moving. That sucks right now, but I know in 6 months, like I'm going to be good. And that's where I'm at right now is 6 months later from September, I am completely booked for this year. And
that's awesome.
From nothing to a full booked year is, I feel like unheard of. Like I am so grateful for everyone that has supported me and recommended me and just given me the chance to get back on my feet. Because I wouldn't be here without any of them. So it's humbling, it's amazing, and just really makes me like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So
Exactly. It's that validation that you don't necessarily need all the time, but you do need it to know that again, it's just validating what you already feel inside, like that this is what you're meant to do and to know that you're impacting on those lives. And I think I'm not surprised whatsoever that you got 20 people in 24 hours. And I recommend you as much as I can.
I know you do. And Amanda, like
yeah, my sister. Yeah, we recommend you to everyone. And also, I guess I want to know, because you mentioned the Knot, you mentioned Instagram, you mentioned word of mouth. What is the main way that you grow your business right now? Because like you did mention too, it changes every few years. It does change. Social media changes. The industry, bridal industry changes all the time. What right now is giving you the most, like, I guess, what's the main vehicle you use to grow the business? And as you look into the next year, because I know, like you said, you do 6 to 12 months out too. Yep. So you're already doing 2022. I had to think about like what's next year.
I know, like what we missed the whole year. So what are we?
I don't know what year it is anymore. No,
I know. So I would say it's almost a tie between Instagram and the Knot. So Instagram for different reasons, especially now with the new projects I'm taking on, like I'm getting more appointment-based inquiries, but I still get the occasional bride that is like, hey, are you free by any chance this day? But then like the knot is obviously so focused on weddings. Like no one's going to contact me on there to be like, oh, I need a single appointment. Like, no, you're there for a bridal party inquiry.
Bride wedding stuff only.
So, yeah, I would say those two for sure. I am on WeddingWire, but I really kind of hate it. Like I didn't have WeddingWire back in the day, so none of my reviews from the knot like transfer over to WeddingWire.
Okay.
So whenever I like make my profiles on there, I have to be like, oh, check me out on the knot. I'm a real person, you know, or just look on my Instagram. So I would say Instagram for sure, and then the knot, but WeddingWire is not my favorite. Facebook's not my favorite. And it's so many things to keep up with. Like I'm getting inquiries via Facebook Messenger, Instagram DMs. I get emails from the knot. I get emails from WeddingWire. I get text messages. I get phone calls. Like it is a daily, like that's like a full-time job in and of itself, is just trying to keep up with that alone.
I totally hear you, because yeah, it's like you have to be in all things. You don't necessarily have to be, but you kind of do in this day and age. Like you have to try to get your business out there with multiple vehicles, and it's definitely hard to juggle it all. And I did want to ask you, because I know a lot of our audience are moms, and you have two toddlers. Like I only have one toddler, and it's hard enough for me to juggle everything. You have two.
I know.
So how are you juggling all this? Like, do you have any advice for moms on how to like pursue multiple passions while also juggling motherhood?
So, I mean, it takes a village, like no doubt about it. It's so hard to even give advice because everyone has different needs. Your kids have different needs. Mine are at this age where they're 2.5 and 3.5. Like they like each other, they play with each other, they love playing with other people. So I finally did myself a favor and like just bit the bullet of hiring babysitters now. Like I went on care.com and got 2 essentially full-time babysitters, because my mom, she's like, my son is so heavy that she's like, I really can't pick him up. And like, I'm just not in my prime anymore. I'm like, I get it. Like, I don't need you. I don't want you to be here every day. Like you have 8 other grandkids. Like, no, it's fine. So, it's been the best thing. It's only been a couple of weeks, but like just doing things that don't have the mom guilt. Like you need your own life. I think it's very hard to, what is the word I'm looking for? Like it's really hard in that first year or two to like identify yourself as anything other than a mom. And I fell into that trap. Then factor in like my ex-husband was sick. So it's like, what do you do? Like, how do you live your life and try to not fall into the same routine of like you can pursue other things, and you have more things in your life that you need to do other than just raising people, taking care of everything. So I did fall into that, but obviously circumstances were very different than a normal new mom. And even then I had help. Like my sister-in-law was there 2 or 3 days a week easily. And my mom, my mother-in-law were there. So like the thing is like my mental health was so messed up. Like at the time I wouldn't really acknowledge it. I don't know. Like I was in such a get through the day
survival mode, like you mentioned earlier.
Right. And so it wasn't until recently that I finally cracked and got on an antidepressant. And it is the best thing I could have done. So like, and that falls into the same thing with like, in order to do what you need to do, help yourself. If that means taking 1 day a week to have a babysitter and getting out of the house to get work done, like prioritize what you need to get done and take a minute for yourself, you're going to be ahead of the game already. So That's my biggest piece of advice is like, don't ignore your needs. Don't feel like you need to take on the weight of the world. Like there are people to help you. There are resources to help you. I have my groceries delivered now. So I'm like, that's 2 hours twice a week that like driving somewhere, picking them up, loading, like it's a lot of crap. So Whole Foods delivers now thanks to COVID. So I'm like, cool, you reach Romeo, let's do it. So and it's just one more thing I don't have to worry about. I can literally put the kids to bed, type in my order, next morning, ding dong at 8 a.m. There's my groceries. Like it's just figuring out. Someone told me this. They were like, your life and your priorities are like juggling a bunch of balls, but some of them are glass and some of them are plastic. And you're going to have to be okay with dropping some of them, but you also need to figure out which ones are glass and which ones are plastic and being okay with dropping a plastic ball. And that has been in my mind since I heard that 6 months ago. So yeah,
that's powerful stuff right there, because I really like that. I like a good visual. I'm a visual person. And I think that's so important because there's certain things like getting your groceries delivered. That's a plastic ball. Like that's something that could easily, you don't have to deal with it. If you don't have to go pick it up, you don't have to go pick it up. And it's so important for moms to know that, the only way to really grow and scale a business as a mom is to have help. You have to have help.
Oh, no doubt about it. I hate asking for help. Like that was maybe one of the biggest learning curves I had to embrace with 2019 and 2020, because I couldn't do it all. Like I could not, some days I couldn't even get out of bed. So to have to ask for help to take care of the kids, to have to ask for help, like, can you just make dinner tonight? Like I can't even function. I can't get off the couch. Like it's, like I hated it, but like it's so necessary. It's like, just do it. Just don't feel like you need to put this on your shoulders all the time. Like it's not, everyone needs help at some point. And
exactly. Exactly. And I think everyone needs help at different seasons of their life, and it's okay to get that help you need. And it's totally what you said too about getting out of the house, doing something for yourself. As a mom, you need breaks. You need time for yourself. Even if you're not growing a business, even if you don't want to grow a business, you need self-care. You need time away. You need a break. Every single mom deserves that. And also, I love how you were open about taking an antidepressant. Whatever works for your mental health is best for you. And it's good that I feel like from what you're saying about your story, and even just, following you on social media the last year, I could tell the transformation that was happening. And I think you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you really started prioritizing your health, your mental health, your self-care. And you can just see in your confidence, in your, in everything, like you just seem like the Andrea I've always known from before. And I just feel like you're back. You're back. You're stepping into your power.
Oh my God. Well, it's just funny. Like, I feel like right now is the most stress-free and happiest I have been in 2 years. Like I feel so good mentally, physically. Like I'm really just stepping into what I always have wanted to do and feeling like it's finally paying off is incredible. But, I know you're obviously health and fitness, like you totally understand this. I think one of your questions was like, what would you tell yourself at 21? Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. I was asking in the perfect. Go for it.
One of the things I had to do for myself, not even just like as a mom, but like as a person, was I cracked down in December of 2019. And I told myself, like, you are going to try every avenue to better yourself and take care of yourself naturally before you just hop on a medication. And I did just that. Like, that was the one thing I forced myself to do. My girlfriend from high school is a holistic doctor in town. So I went to her, got on some homeopathic remedies, and we did a food intolerance test, because what had been happening during my pregnancies was like, I felt like every time I ate dairy, which I craved all the time, was I'd break out in hives. Like I was like constantly itching my face. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So we did a food intolerance test, and come to find out, I'm intolerant to potatoes.
No
So
way.
like, I didn't even know that was a thing. Like people are
I
lactose
didn't know either.
intolerant or gluten free. No, potatoes, like every potato. Do you know what's good in life?
French
Potatoes.
fries.
Like,
Chips.
come on. Fried potato skins, like the best thing ever. If I didn't feel amazing, I would be devastated. But I haven't had a potato since New Year's Eve of 2019. And I didn't know food was supposed to make you feel good, because I always felt like I was super lethargic. I felt super heavy, like tired, rock in my stomach. Just didn't know. I ate a potato every day. If I was being healthy, I'd make sweet potatoes. Like, why would I
Oh my
ever?
gosh, that's so crazy. I would have never thought that.
No. Right.
And now you feel great because you're not
Right.
getting sick from eating that, because you
Yes.
eliminated it.
Yeah. So I cut that out. I started working out, and which I had always been pretty active, but during the pregnancies, I was like, F this. Like, I'm just gonna get fat. I'm just gonna eat what I want to eat. Like, you babies tell me what you want. And so I started out slow. I would do like 2 days of boxing and then like 2 days of lifting. And I got up to like 5 or 6 days a week for a while. Then obviously when lockdown happened, I kind of had to pivot. I know you make your living off of home workouts and stuff, but like for me, I'm a room association person. Like I need to go to the gym in order to feel like I'm working out.
Everyone's different. Everyone has different.
Yeah, right. And I've tried it, and it's one of those things. It's not for me. I don't know, but so since December of 2019, I actually got on the scale yesterday morning, and I hit my goal weight of like minus 40. So I'm down 40 pounds.
Woo-hoo!
I know, like I just
That's
feel
so
really good. And obviously being like on medication and the circumstances of my life right now, like I finally feel like as good on the inside and outside, like as I should, and
awesome.
Such an amazing feeling. So to really tell myself at 21, like quit being an idiot and like working out for vain reasons, because when I still work out, but like I don't work out because I want to look a certain way. Like I work out now because I know I'm going to have more energy to keep up with everything I have going on. And my brain functions beautifully when I work out 3 to 4 times a week. Like I can sleep better. So I wake up more energized. I have the endurance to keep up with my kids. I can stand on my feet for 8 hours and do a bridal party, and it's not that bad. And so yeah, just quit being dumb, quit drinking every night, and get to the gym and start eating a vegetable, like first of all. But had I been more consistent, like with the mindset of being like, I'm working out to make myself feel better, not because I'm trying to hit a goal weight or,
Right.
look
Functional fitness.
yeah, like exactly. And making it a lifestyle. Like I would have stuck with it way easier and better had I had that mindset. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely something I would tell myself at 21, as well as like, don't give a single thought of what anyone is going to think about what you're doing. If everyone is going to like you, because they're not, you're not for everybody. I don't even like everybody. So why would I be for everybody?
Right. Exactly.
It doesn't make sense. Like, so just, I feel like I was such a people pleaser my whole life. And one of the really like crazy things that came out of the last 2 years was like this very intense feeling of trying to figure out, why am I the way that I am? So like I really dove into childhood issues and like what my codependency issues. Like I didn't even realize I was a codependent person because I'm so independent. Like, why do I have these codependent tendencies? It doesn't make any sense. And once I started going down the rabbit hole of like personal growth and just trying to heal these like weird wounds of like, because I don't know, like I say it all the time. I'm like, I had an amazing childhood. Like I had amazing parents. I still have amazing parents, but there are still some things emotionally that were triggered in me. And I knew I needed to fix that in order to take on the shit that I was carrying in 2019 and 2020. Because if I didn't, it was just going to all manifest even worse if I didn't figure it out. And that has been the biggest thing for me, is saying no, doing what I want to do without worrying about what anyone else is going to say, speaking my truth, like really just standing up for myself and just not caring. Like, I just don't give a shit anymore. Like, I don't know if that's turning 30 or if it's my life that has happened, but I don't give a single shit anymore. Like,
I think that's so freeing. That's so freeing.
I want to do. It's so freeing because it's just like, who cares? Like, who even cares? I can't even stand gossip. It's so funny because like now I own a salon and they're like obviously notoriously known for like gossip. And I'm just like, I don't want to have these small conversations about people. You don't know shit about what's going on inside their house. I know what I went through. I'm not placing any judgment on anybody and what they're doing and why they're doing the things that they're doing, because I can't even imagine what's going on over there.
Well, and that's such a good point. Yeah, we never know. And especially with social media, everyone's these photos, these videos, like you don't know, even if you're an authentic person, you're not going to share every single, I mean, come on, we need to have privacy in our lives too. You're not going to share every single negative thing, hard thing, bad thing, sad thing. Like that's just impossible and whatnot. But I think too, when you get around people who have gone through like a transformation like you have, or a personal journey, whatever it is, like when you're around those people, we don't gossip. We talk about, they don't gossip. We don't gossip. They talk about their business goals and their dreams and like what's working, what's not. And like all these, like, you know, what a lot of people would think are crazy ideas. And that's when you know you're around the right people too, because you're talking about that instead of, like the negative gossip that we did in high school and college that, you know, come on, we're too old and mature. We should be mature for this. And I think too, it's like when you're focusing on all the good and you're building something great, like you don't even have time for the bullshit. You don't have time for the negativity anyways.
No. And it's like a waste. It's like bringing my energy down. Like as soon as I feel like a conversation is
going that way,
kind of like complainy and whiny, it's like, no,
it sucks it out of you and you don't even want to be around those people anymore.
No, not at all. Like absolutely, I'm not wasting my time anymore. Like I feel like I was so stuck for years of like not being able to do what I wanted to do, and like I just don't want to let in anything that's going to slow me down again. Like that's like where I'm at, is just
amen. You're full steam ahead. Get out of my way.
Yeah, like I'm a train. I will run you over. Like that's like how I feel about everything. And like you said, like I have expanded my like woman network, and even like not even just women. Like I have guy friends that are entrepreneurs and they're incredible and they're so smart and so like detailed with business. But to have these people in my life every day, like I talk to at least one entrepreneur every single day, and it is the best thing ever. Like it is inspiring every day. It makes me want to push harder to get my stuff done and like push for new things and reach new goals. Like I don't ever feel stagnant with this group of people that I've surrounded myself with. And there's no like pettiness, there's no competition. Like even if we're in the same field, it's like there's space for everybody right now. Like we are all so busy. So like Definitely. The thing that we always say is like community over competition all day long. Like if you're not with me, like don't even talk to me.
Yeah. Well, no, and there's people, like everyone has a niche, everyone has their ideal client, and so there's somebody for everybody. And there's on either side, on the client side and on the business owner side. So, and that's why I started the podcast too. I wanted to not only get the message out of other entrepreneurs, but also get myself, reconnected with or connected to new people. Because again, like you said, it's inspiring, it's motivating, and we learn from each other and we can support one another. And I know that you just opened up a luxury like studio space. So could you tell us a little bit more about that? Like, what was your vision behind that, and where are you going with that?
So yeah, that was when I walked in here the very first time I toured this. So Nancy's the previous owner. She actually lived up here. And so
no
this
way.
upstairs, upstairs above the salon. It was originally the spa part of the salon. And then when they cut the spa out, she moved in up here after her divorce. And so she just lived up here and walked downstairs and cut hair. So when she was finally ready to sell and like get some separation from this building, I came up here and toured it and immediately knew like this was it. Like this is what I want this space to be for. And in my mind, I was already like, okay, we're gonna rip the carpet out. We're gonna set up tables over here. And like, how cool would this be to put bunk beds in this room and like have like a super cool Airbnb style thing. So like that was my initial plan, was like making it like the ultimate girls' night. And then like they the night before, and then in the morning we just come upstairs and do the hair and makeup. So what actually has now played out amazingly, I've been working with Jamie Vandewinkle, and that's like the weirdest story. If you go to her page, you can like read how we got connected. Everything fell into place perfectly though. And what is happening is I had to pivot like everything else with, weddings and the pandemic and just not being able to really get the place how I want it yet. So I'm like, okay, what can we do in the meantime to make money, but still like progress to the point that I want it to be at? So I rent it out hourly or daily to photographers that need a studio space or just want a different type of space to bring their clients to. And it's so versatile. There's a bed, which you could do anything with, a boudoir. I think Jamie just did one with Susie, and
like branding, lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly. Branding and lifestyles, like a lot of what we do here. So like now it's turned into like, okay, during the week, that's what this is going to be for, is photography, whatever. And then for 2022, I'm opening it up to brides to rent as like a bridal suite. This way it doesn't interrupt the flow downstairs. Because those girls are chair renters. So they're not even like my actual employees. I'm just like their landlord. Okay. But the space is so cool. I've worked with the Rustic Bluebird. We're working on like brunch packages too,
like, that's a great idea.
Yeah. So like literally it's going to be like a one-stop shop. Like you bring your dress and that's it. Like we have everything else covered. We have this cool, funky space for you to get ready in and just cater to you the whole day. Like, it's unique, which I love saying this, and I mean it in the nicest way possible, but brides are bougie bitches and they want a unique experience. Like on the
so true though, like
it's so true.
It's kind of a thing for sure.
Yeah, like they want a unique experience, and having something that's different and comfortable and fun, something they can share with their friends and like still allow their day to progress, like with the photographer and having breakfast just set up here. Like I have a whole coffee bar.
Well, I think about, because obviously I got married a few years ago, and luckily my parents' house was big enough to host everyone to get ready at. But I actually lived with my in-laws at the time, and before we moved into a condo, but that condo wouldn't have even been big enough to host everyone. So, like that would have been like an ideal space had I not had something else to do, or if I wanted something different. So for brides in the area that don't have a space to get ready at, and sometimes like my wedding was at a church and then the reception, which wasn't even close by. So if you don't have that option for whether you don't have a place to go or where you have the reception isn't where you have the ceremony, then they have this option. And I think what's really cool too is that right now, like you said, you're pivoting and you're having photographers use it. Also, that was smart of you to do because you have, as someone in the bridal industry, you're connected with so many photographers. You work with new photographers all the time. You've been doing makeup for one of our guests, Rochelle Welling, for her photo sessions that she's been having. So it's just you use your connections too to kind of make this new business venture work as well. So that's something to take note of. And then I feel like there's so many things.
Yeah.
But even like backtracking to when you first started talking about it,
Mm-hmm.
you had a vision immediately. Like you had this vision in your mind. And I think that's a big thing about entrepreneurs is there's always a vision behind every goal, every avenue. And that's where it starts at. And that's what drives you forward. And I love how you're not even at the exact vision that you had. Like you still have other visions of the space too.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's cool. I think it's even going to change. Like, obviously my initial vision is what it is. Like, I know for a fact I'm going to have an office space off the kitchen. Like there's a room over there. So like, that's my goal in the next like month or two, because I can't focus at home, like pitter patter of feet, banging on the door. Like, I need a snack. And it's like, oh my God.
My daughter can't even say that yet, but she literally is asking for snacks all the time.
Yeah, all the time. Like, I love you so much, but leave me alone. But yeah, so I mean, there are just the stepping stones of how this is playing out is really fun for me to watch, and knowing that I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm with the right people, and just the support from, like you said, like the whole network of people that I have been amazing, and just so like, this is the coolest thing. Like this is there's nothing like this here. Like there's stuff in Pontiac, there's stuff in Detroit, but like downtown Romeo, it's like
right.
Parking in the front and the back. I share a parking lot with the police station. Like
there's definitely nothing around here.
Yeah. Like, so yeah, it's almost turning out better than I even have expected. And I'm really excited to see, even just like in 6 months, like where this goes. So that's like what I'm working on right now is packages for 2022, to rent the space, to get hair and makeup done, have, your breakfast packages. So I'm working with the owner of the Bluebird, and just making this, like, I would love to cut travel in half. So if I did 15 weddings here and 15 on location, that would be my dream next year, to just,
that would be life-changing for you. And I think that's cool too, that you're kind of taking more of control of your business as it grows. I think that's something that as your business grows and as time goes on, you have more flexibility and control of your business and how your life, like kind of working your lifestyle around your business instead of your business running your lifestyle, which we all have to go through that first, right? But
balance is something. Like, I feel like right now I'm just like full throttle, but I know I'm going to have to scale back at some point and pivot again and be like, okay, I should be home more this time or this time. Like, obviously once the kids then are in school, like things are just always going to change.
There's always different seasons, right?
Having to be flexible is like a really hard thing to do as an entrepreneur, but you have to do it. Like, I feel like we all really want control, and like like we're all perfectionists. Like we all want it to be like exactly how we envisioned it. And like,
and on our timeline, like why is this happening faster?
Yeah, it's such like a roller coaster of things, and you just have to roll with the punches. Like there's no other way around it. So
well, this was amazing. I just we have to wrap it up, but I want to hear just like what is the biggest takeaway you want people to take from you, because you've obviously gone through a lot of challenges and a lot of obstacles in the last few years, more than a lot of people our age have. And I would just love to hear like what's like one last takeaway you want to share with us.
One last takeaway. Don't wait. There's never a right moment to move forward and start what you feel like is right. It might not make sense now. It might go against society's terms of like a steady income, or whether it's benefits or whatever it is. your life purpose, that's what you're here for. That's what you need to do. And you don't wait. Don't like think about your ego. Don't think about what other people are going to say or do. Hone in on your group, hone in on your support system, and start focusing on what it is that you're trying to achieve. And you will find a way to do it and make money and be happy. And I don't know, like, I don't know what more to go like say like about it. Cause like, that's
No,
just
that's what you've shared with us this whole time, like how you didn't let anything stop you and you didn't wait for things to happen. You just took the reins when you could. And even when you had setbacks, you eventually it's kept moving forward. So I think that's definitely something everyone will take away from this.
I have one last thing to announce. So the other thing that I wanted to announce that I'm also launching is personalized one-on-one sessions. So in person, I teach you how to do your makeup, and
that's really cool.
It could be on FaceTime or in person. So one-on-one experiences and shopping experiences. So in-person shopping or online shopping, that's going to be launched in the next week. I've been hearing this for years.
Is that like styling, like helping people style, like find their style?
They want to level up their makeup game for their everyday makeup, and just, they don't know, they get so overwhelmed when they go to Ulta or Sephora and they feel like people are just throwing makeup at them and selling the brand. They're like, I need someone to help me, like show me what's actually going to benefit me. And they're not just trying to make a sale. And I'm like, well, I don't make a commission off of anything at Ulta or Sephora. So like, I feel like I'm your person. So yeah, like that's kind of the plan now, is like during the week, that's kind of what I'm filling my time with, as well as like these branding sessions and stuff, like doing makeup for that. But I've been hearing this for years, is like, I don't know I've never had a makeup lesson. I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like I look sloppy, or I don't understand why my products aren't working correctly. And I can teach you these things. I can give you the tools to feel more confident in your makeup and in your appearance. And if that's going to help you land a job or do the thing and go be an entrepreneur, I want to help you. Like, this is what I'm here for. So
wow, nobody is doing that. And I feel like I mean, like I want to sign me up. Like I want to sign up for this. Like because all I've ever learned is from like YouTube videos, but that's not specific to me. And I mean, I love makeup, but I have no clue what's like the best for me and my skin or my skin tone or whatever. So that's really neat. And I think, again, this is an example of you seeing a need that is out there from listening to your clients, seeing a need in the marketplace and going for it and serving your clients with this new service. So that is really cool. And I don't know anybody doing that. So I will definitely have to find out more about that, because
I don't own it.
I want to level up my makeup game because I have no clue what I'm doing.
I have so many people that are like, I still use the same things from high school. And I'm like, that was 12 years ago. What are you doing? But it's changed a lot.
Right. People don't know. So you're going to be educating and offering. So look at that. You're offering so many different things to people, and you're doing it all and figuring it all out on the way. And I love how you're just adding new things, like I said, to your client base of what they need. Right. So that is really cool. And how can people work with you? How can they find out more about all these things that you offer?
Obviously Instagram's like my favorite thing. So at Andrea Walker MUA, that's my favorite. Like, I love Instagram. I think it is the most social and like connected with my people and my groups, and it's the most up to date with my content. But if you're looking more for bridal, definitely go on the Knot. Like that's a bridal thing. So yeah, the first picture, definitely Instagram. So
okay, yeah, and I'll link it in the show notes too. So well, thank you so much, Andrea. This was awesome, and I can't wait to hear everyone's takeaways and just so many good nuggets. And I feel like any entrepreneur will be inspired by you today.
Thank you for having me. This is so fun. I got a lot off my chest.
I'm so glad that you had fun.
So,
I had fun too, because I just feel like, again, it's just fun to connect with and learn more about entrepreneurs, even people that I know. I learned new things today. So thanks.
thanks for having me. This was awesome. Can't wait to see the responses. So
Yay.
yay.